In light of recent pushings and official Hot Wheels media now recognizing the brand Acceleracers, I thought I'd put a list together of how I think it should come back, and how it should play out in those outcomes. This of course is just my opinion, and if you want to know more about the recent petition to bring back Acceleracers, here is a video from Tesla's Cube, here, explaining more in the iCard. So, if you want to support the channel, you can of course buy the merch, join the channel for behind the scenes videos and more podcast content that is not released yet. Otherwise, you can subscribe and of course join the Discord for all things JayCee squared. And with that, here are a couple ways to bring back Acceleracers. Number 1, simply bring back the IP with some diecasts and references, acknowledging that the community is real. I think this one is not simply just the most likely, but most people's favorites in the community. It is the easiest way and allows for eBay prices to take a better turn for fans, I suppose, that found the series after a long time. Seeing official merchandise from the TV show will go a long way for fans and collectors alike. The only problem I see are that scalpers, once that happens, they understand that Accelerators can become hype beasts, and that can be bought in bulk. If you thought premiums were bad, imagine this. And another way would be some release of the cars that never got made. Tech-wise, D-2, Slingshot, Metal Maniacs, Custom 70 Roadrunner, Old Smokey, and the motorcycles. All of these can make a great comeback, even if it would be for like a 20th anniversary at San Diego Comic-Con, Premium, or Redline Club, to allow these special diecasts to get some proper treatment, since a lot of them have special molds and maybe special sizes if we wanted an actual sized up Old Smokey. The acknowledgement can go as far as the fun stuff the community makes, making more events at Comic-Con or even panels for actors and teams that worked on the show. Fun stuff that allows fans to be a part of the fandom in that area, even collector shows and maybe a card game tournament. I know I heard Acceleracers talk about that. But that part is a little bit harder because I'm sure collectors and the national collector thing isn't strictly run by Mattel. That's run by some fans, I'm pretty sure. And I don't know how that would happen. I personally would love for it to be at Comic-Cons and such, because to see you guys and to see different cosplays, and of course Legends Tour, to see people at Legends Tour. Maybe they could add a Highway 35 wrap to Diecasts just for a bit, for like the anniversary or something, I don't know. But it would be very interesting to have, and it would be going along the way to fans to just say, hey look, we're reaching out to you guys, we know you guys exist, and we're going to make sure you also are part of this community. Shouldn't just be the collectors and stuff, which we are collectors, but in a way you understand what I'm saying. Essentially, this is just getting the Hot Wheels community together and just meshing all of those parts of it into one, and making sure that no matter what part of Hot Wheels you came into, that you're still a part of the brand, whether it be Battle Force 5, Team Hot Wheels even. Look, I get it, people don't like stuff, but that doesn't mean that we have to gatekeep them from not liking Hot Wheels. I mean, that's just dumb. So with that, I would say just have people connect again. Just have communities connect again. Don't ignore people for liking something they like. Collect what you like, in the words of Ray Screws. The second thing that could happen, maybe, is making a smaller, scaled down story in the same universe. So this one was suggested by Opus in a recent podcast episode, which you can watch if you're joining the channel. Haha, hit that button. Basically, just have a smaller side story with some of the cast, or a new cast, running around and discovering secrets of the world of the Hot Wheels Accelerators. Who made the Teku cars? Are they in dealerships? What importance can a new cast give to the story? Any smaller conspiracies that could lead to military plus silencer bases? Is Area 51 involved? I don't know. What makes this world tick? Flesh it out more. Use the main cast or side characters from Highway 35, maybe more or sparingly, just to give an idea of what's going on in this world. I think the main benefit of this would be allow kids that didn't watch the show and stuff to understand at least what this place is about. What world would Hot Wheels make sense in a way? I think you would definitely need a visionary like Jeff Gomez, or someone that's really in tune with it to be consistent and give background. You don't want to overstep the previous stuff, of course. This is maybe why I think it would be a first step in bringing back Acceleracers Into the Light. It could be a small web series that is like the shorts from Acceleracers, 5-minute mini adventures figuring out small problems that help flesh out the story world in Highway 35/Acceleracers. I think a third point could be make a prequel that explains the 2-year gap and tighten those two series together. This would be a third step. I think I've gone into ways of like what's the proper steppage, but of course there's no real way of doing this. This would be sort of a third step, I think it could be. And Vulcan's already working on his own small thing like this step with the Fall Realm. But for an official release, I think it would be more beneficial to tie up some of the knots that were a bit confusing. Maybe a scattershot series like Clone Wars, mini arcs that can be separated without too much trouble. I think a couple of scenarios like for this would be the gangs split from Tesla, Curtin Markey's illegal act maybe, Vert Wheeler's Wave Rippers being split, Kadeem seeing his people maybe, Taro and Vert's relation being split for some reason, Tone and Nolo racing together. How did each member find each street gang? Were there more street gangs? Did Vert and Kurt modify their cars to the point where they were no longer super OP, where, you know, they never got dinged? And more. A lot of fun stories that can help understand maybe what's going on with getting to ignition. Basic theory of mine that I thought would be nice to flesh out is explaining how Tesla has access to the Wheel of Power hologram. Dr. Tesla could save the Wheel of Patterns to a disc or a drive of some sort before letting Vert take the wheel back to Hot Wheels City. This in turn leaves Gig to turn that data over to Silencers. Was it when Gig rebooted and from Hot Wheels World Race that he turns back into Silencers tech, or did Major Wheeler play a part? Did he download something in him? You know, I know they said the X88s or whatever have override protocols, but I think that was a little dumb, sort of. I mean, you could probably explain it better. How did the portal still open even with the hologram still there? The disk drive from the Cube maybe helps explain that Tesla can find these focal points of where the portals will open, just like in Highway 35, just like we saw where he's able to have some sort of pattern, and that way from the disk he copied, he's able to, you know, send them into that same spot where we can see the data transmitted from the thing. I don't know. It is kind of shot in dark stuff. What happened between Tesla and Major Wheeler? Was Tesla's cube destroyed by drones or the Silencers? Who knows? Maybe this is really a long shot prequel for World Race, connecting Stunt Track Challenge and World Race, with drivers competing in Stunt Track Challenge being recruited by Tesla since he sponsors the events with his cars from the Scrim Corporation. That theory is way out of there. And the fourth thing would be continue where we left off. In my opinion, this should be left to the last of the previous options. It is simply going to be the toughest to pull off without a good team that is already understanding of the story, what it means, how Diecasts coincide with the storytelling, all of it. This could be a quick way to shut fans up and bomb drastically, or be extremely successful. As for what the story could bring, I really don't know too much. I suppose you could start either from Vert Wheeler's perspective and then flesh to the rest of the gang, or let Vert's disappearance just stay a mystery and have the gang in a few movies try to find him on escapades and try to do so. You could maybe pick up a few months after, maybe the gang is split up into different teams that have Metal Maniac and Teku members together, traveling either the world in search of Vert or simply looking for clues. You could pick up maybe with Shirako, Porkchop, and Monkey in Japan, like this spitballing, searching for clues and running to the Silencers agents and getting a fight only to barely have any info, and then have them contact the rest of the group, say Taro, Lahani, and Karma, Nolo and Kurt and Markey. I don't know, it could be a neat idea. Maybe see a shot in the Nevada desert with someone riding a motorcycle with Johnny Cash playing. Pure theory stuff at this point, man. This is taken from Stargate Atlantis. Alright, let's move on before I get lost in my own theories and thoughts. The fifth thing could be soft reboot. I really don't want to see a hard reboot. I think that is the wrong way to go. Totally wrong way to go. Do not go the hard reboot section, because I would not change everything. Maybe clean up the art style to make it more consistent with World Race designs. No more pig feet. Keep connections tighter between the two, like using Vert and saving Taro. Erase that inconsistent moment between people just having them, you know, not know who they are anymore. It's like, oh yeah, I'm a Teku, I'm a Metal Maniac. It's like, no, these guys were friends before that, and they would save each other just like they went back for Kadeem, okay? These guys know each other, and Taro should really have more connections with the World Race game than just being sort of just out of it. I don't know, he's very not really as good as he was with World Race, and being that sort of cool guy but not wanting to show it type of thing, you know what I mean? So like he doesn't, it feels like there's only ever one moment that he feels bad for Gadim for like passing him, and then after that he doesn't care anymore. It's like, what? Like there should have been more of that between him and with Vert, and like how they're trying to cope with it, sort of. I feel like that would be better. I think the World Race characters need to be more believable into their new roles as Teku and Metal Maniacs. Maybe even have it as like the World Race was a public event where all the drivers got shamed, and so they all had to go into hiding in their own way, or go into illegal street racing as where they are now. I know with Kurt we sort of saw that in his comic book, but I mean that's not necessarily canon. It's sort of just a small background. Maybe we could start even before World Race even happens, so that we get more context of what will happen with the other characters other than just Vert, because Vert is the main protagonist of all of this, but maybe we get to see a little bit more, you know? I don't know. The one thing I definitely don't want to happen though is, like I said, a hard reboot where everything is just not the same. You know, it's the sort of, it's similar, but it's never the same, sort of like with Ben 10's reboot, and honestly, pretty much any reboot that you see nowadays is just bad. And especially don't do it with like Spy Racers, because the way that Spy Racers released with Hot Wheels just did not go well. I mean, people just don't collect them because no one cares about these characters. Like, you put the character on the Hot Wheels basic card, no one cares. I don't know who these people are. I don't want to collect it if I don't want to watch the show. Don't put it on Netflix for people to binge. That is the wrong way about doing this. Netflix would kill Acceleracers. Like, it would just end its life instantly, because once you put new content like that onto there, it's pretty much dead at that point. You're gonna have to find some other way, I think, of getting it out there. So, in conclusion, let us actually be honest with ourselves and make sure we don't dive right into everything. This IP coming back in any way needs some excellent planning, and without it, it will wither away just like every other new cartoon with reboots that change the style, tone, and pretty much everything about what made it special to kids in the first place. If we look at what Mattel has done recently, He-Man got 2 new shows in the span of a month. One that was 2D animated that looks amazing, but the fans hated it, and the 3D more kiddish type that no one even knows about. I really couldn't tell you anything about it because it's not anywhere in the news about toys or anything. Barbie, though, is always popular, can pretty much succeed wherever it goes. This brand is extremely consistent and versatile with its long media history, which shows that Mattel can nail stuff down when they actually are staying true to those roots. Hot Wheels has always been in the limbo state with media and branding. I mean, right now the YouTube channel looks more like Lego Club than it does, you know, the cool styles of what we used to grow up on. And that's okay, I think that's fine. Lego has done that for years, and I think Hot Wheels is okay to do that too for kids growing up in the iPad era. But for what we want to see from a story and how can it impact children now, that's very different. How can you impact children and the adults that still love this without it going too crazy in the wrong direction, if you know what I mean? Because let's look at it. He-Man, like I said, is something that old people really love and that kids could probably love. But with this weird storytelling, it's hard to see where it can go. So, can Acceleracers survive in this type of Hot Wheels market that is highly saturated in its new hypebeast status with collectors? I don't know myself. I just hope that whatever happens, fans can get together to celebrate something that they love. Show that is fun, has solid storytelling, and some Hot Wheels. And I guess with that, have a good one, guys. Have a blessed day. Have a good day. Peace.